The changing landscape of the housing market in Las Vegas requires a real estate professional that understands how to get your offer accepted, willing to go above and beyond for service and accountability. Hi, my name is Dan French. I've been in the real estate and financing industry for over 13 years. Most real estate agents struggle with answering their phone. Please call me directly, 702-557-6176. I'm available for all your real estate needs.
Dan's a fantastic man. He really is.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
What's going on, everybody? This is Dan French. We are on live, streaming live from Las Vegas, the studios in Burbank. Or no, sorry, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Las Vegas Burbank studio.
Henderson. Yeah.
At the Fox,
Live from
the
Henderson.
French studios here in Las Vegas.
La French.
What's going on, everybody? Sorry we're starting late here. We really like to start on time. We had a little issue with the internet, and we have it back up and running. So thank you guys for tuning in. This is the most real behind-the-scenes information on financing real estate money talk happening here in Las Vegas. I'm your host, Dan French, streaming live. We have a full studio of the same people we have every single week on a Saturday to talk about the market and what we see the market heading here in the U.S. Are we at a crossroads with the U.S. market? Also, we're going to talk a lot about what's going on inflation, and we're going to talk about what's happening with the market here in Las Vegas and seeing what is going on with prices and price appreciation. Is it going to keep going? Are we going to start to see a decline? Is that drop going to happen? Should you buy at the dip? What is the dip? Let's talk about the dip. Are you a dip?
Just the tip.
Just the tip. If you guys don't know who that is, that's Mr. Brett Ginny over here. What's going on, buddy?
It's just the tip, bud.
What do you mean by that? By the way, it's just
Nothing. Nothing.
Because I was. What are you up to, man? It's 4th of July weekend.
So what's been
going on?
happening in the crypto market is no.
Crypto market. Is this a crypto show?
Yeah, totally. No, what am I doing for the 4th? I am just doing some relaxing, man. I'm gonna barbecue with my wife. Maybe go for a run in the desert,
Nice.
or a walk or something.
By yourself?
No, with my wife, our
Okay.
dogs.
Yeah,
Just kind
there
of
you
chill
go.
out.
Yeah.
Although probably be the very early morning versus the day for that right now because I don't want anyone to die. So.
All right.
Dude, you go for a jog every single Saturday morning, and so
Before the show, yeah.
Yeah. What I mean, dude, do you ever feel like you're gonna pass out? Because I mean, that's got to be.
Dude,
a
I told you
regiment.
this morning when I pulled up, man, I was just gonna take a nap in my car. I was super tired, but I just, winners win and losers don't. So I got out there and ran anyways. But it was hot and it was tiring, and
Yeah.
I'm glad it's done. I'm definitely happier at the end of it versus the beginning.
I cheat. I run on a treadmill.
It doesn't matter. You're still getting out there and doing something.
Yeah.
Like that's what matters.
You guys don't know who that is? That right there is the one and only Doug or Not. Doug or Not.
Doug, what's his last name?
Doug or Not. There is no last name. It's just Doug or Not.
Right.
Doug or not.
There you
Do
go.
the doogie.
Do the doogie. Dude, you're not wearing your headphones, man. You broke protocol.
I don't wear them anymore
Oh, why? What you got?
because they're tearing apart my ears.
Oh, I could.
I'm just kidding.
No, I see it. There's part of it's
Yeah, I
hanging.
don't know.
There's
Should I put them on?
There's a growth.
I
see
mean,
the
it's just
growth
like
on there.
it's like a monitor. So anybody, if you've ever played in a band, when you're up there on stage, you have your own speakers that face you, and that's how you're able to hear the music because all the speakers going out to the crowd, you're behind it.
Right.
So unless you have your own, so these are our monitors, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
So, what's happening in the world, Doug? Anything new in your world, buddy? It's 4th of July weekend.
Just gonna enjoy the weekend. Got the
Are you doing
weekend
any
off.
work? Any
Nope.
home inspections?
Nope.
Good.
Well, I got one on Monday morning, but
Well, that's
yeah. So at least I got Saturday and Sunday off.
Yeah, I was
doing
gonna
any barbecue.
Yeah. We're gonna have we're gonna have some friends over and
Cool.
Probably either tomorrow night or Monday night, and then go watch some fireworks and just
Dude, do
kind
you
of
guys
enjoy the weekend.
You guys know what the fine is right now for fireworks? It's like $10,000 for illegal fireworks.
So what are illegal though?
I don't
Like,
know.
what's their
actually.
definition?
Do you know what it is?
I have no idea.
Because in Pahrump, there's like I just saw a commercial. Did you see that? There's like a huge, like a whole store, dude. For fireworks.
Yeah, I know.
So I mean, I'm assuming they can't sell those there, and then it's illegal to use, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, everybody in the Midwest goes down to Missouri
Oh yeah,
to get there.
Well,
you
yeah,
can
so
buy
you
like
go
bombs
up-
down there.
yeah. You go up to the Indian reservation up there in North.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you
Go
guys?
out
What
to
do you guys?
Bayou
What do you
or-
guys got planned for 4th of July?
Just do some barbecue. And,
That's it.
Yeah, man. Just chill out.
Do you do fireworks at home where you let them off in the street? Do you have
No, I'm not. I don't really do fireworks, man. And
No?
my dogs freak out. Like my animals freak out when they go off. So tonight, I guarantee my animals are going to be freaking.
Our neighbors do. Our neighbors always have like a.
Do they? Yeah, so do my
They have-
neighbors.
they have a shit ton.
Yeah, they'll go for an hour straight.
Oh, I know, right? And the big old cannons.
50
and
minutes
everything
goes by,
else.
you're thinking they finally settle down. Some more. Yeah.
It's pretty cool, actually. They have, yeah. And they're-
Yeah, what the hell, man?
So-
4th of July. Let them get them out of their system.
So
Absolutely.
basically, what it is it's a high level of explosive materials. What makes them illegal? So I guess there's a limit of how much explosive material you can have. In
I
the
mean, I get
fireworks.
that. You can't have
Yeah.
like straight up bombs, but what's the.
Oh, I mean that's what
Protocol.
well, that's what it is. I'm sure there's names of different explosions out there or
Yeah.
fireworks out there that you can't buy.
Like, probably you can't
Okay?
probably use mini missiles, right? It's a joke, everyone.
I'm sitting here like Brett. I think Brett's
Everyone's like, I don't know how
Brett's
to.
a secret agent over here. Do you work for Russia, Brett?
I don't work for anyone. I mean, honestly, dude, I can tell you, but I have to kill you. So let's just leave it at that.
Well, I also want to say that they're up 35%. So the fireworks
Despite I shagged you, baby.
the fireworks are up 35% in cost. Did you guys know that?
oh, everything's up in
Yeah.
cost.
Is it really?
Yeah. Guess why they said it was materials again.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they said, yeah, everything's.
Are
get
we
it.
getting them shipped in from China? Is that what the problem
I think
is?
so, man. Well, I
Yeah.
think China was
Loaded
making
with
them
some
before.
coronavirus. Right on the tip of that.
Have
Just
some
a tip.
coronavirus in your
You like
fireworks.
how I brought that back in?
All right, guys, let's get into the show here. So we got a great show for you guys. We're going to talk a lot about what's happening in the markets. And anybody out there that has any questions, I want to make it clear right now, watching me on this camera here, is that you guys have questions. We're going to get to the end of this this podcast. We're going to answer all your questions. Yeah, that one right there. We're going to get to the end of your podcast. We're going to talk about what those questions are and see if we can answer them for you. And if not, enlighten us, because we're all here to kind of have a round robin table of conversation here. That's kind of why we have the show. Right?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, we don't know everything in the world, so if you know, tell us, you know.
And if you don't know,
And
now
if you don't know, shut up and listen. I'm just kidding. Actually, I'm not, but
So we're at a crossroads right now with the housing market. So we're going to get right into this and talk about this up front. We all know inflation's gone up, and the numbers we're starting to see for 2022 is really not as what they predicted. You know, the GDP is down. We're losing every quarter. We've seen a drop. They said it was going to be 4%. Next year was going to be 2% in GDP. So we're starting to see that problem. People are having a hard time to afford houses. We keep talking about that. So what it's forcing a lot of buyers to do, I'm not going to say the primary buyers because we talked about that on the show. What it is they're going to say, okay, well, I'm going to buy at the dip. Now you have these buyers, and we talked about it, where they felt like it wasn't a good market to buy. Now they're in the market to buy because all of those first-time home buyers, all of those people that maybe were trying to get in and you know, feel like the fear of missing out where they're not going to miss out, rates were going up. Now you have these people that are in this special category, I feel, where you have investors, but you also have people that don't need to buy, but maybe it's time for them to buy.
But with that being said, you know, I want to say too that, don't get me wrong, there's still quite a few of first-time home buyers right now that just can't buy now.
Right.
Because of the interest rate. I've had one myself last week where we got in a contract and then they you know, it came down to what it was like an extra $35 or $40 extra in the mortgage payment. And it's like, listen, man, if you're sweating $40 more in your mortgage payment, don't buy, I mean, you shouldn't be buying a house.
Well, I got a similar story with a guy that was going to buy a manufactured home out in Pahrump. The interest rate went up, I think 1%.
Yeah.
So instead of before the interest rate, it was $35,000 down on the property, and the payment was $1,700 a month, I guess, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And that it went up, and they wanted $75,000 down instead of $35,000 down.
Yeah,
So they got-
I mean, you know, so yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's still buyers out there, and it's primarily who you're saying, which is it's still investors are still going strong.
Right.
You know, and for me personally,
They just had to get a cheap.
Yeah,
cheaper
and I still have
place.
buyers too where they were looking probably a year and a half ago, and they have money to buy, and they're more specifically cash than they are getting a loan, so they don't care if interest rates have gone up.
Right. Well, that crowd never.
Yeah,
does
they
that.
just simply won't buy in a market that's escalating like that. They're like
ask me this
everyone's
question.
crazy.
Okay,
you know?
so beyond first-time home buyers, because we talked about that a lot.
Yeah.
I want to talk about something else here. I want to talk about what you think on people strategically trying to buy on the dip. And what I mean by that is we're starting to see across the board, people are saying, I have people that work with me that are saying that it's going to go down 10, 15, 20, 30%. Everybody's got a number. If you guys think in this comment section, go ahead and tell me what you guys think Las Vegas and also the housing market, how far that's going to dip. Because I want you guys to get your take. I want to get your take on what's happening in the markets. I feel it's not going to dip very much, if at all. I think if it does, maybe 5%, but I feel the market is going to sustain itself as long as there's
that's based
shortage
on
of
supply,
homes.
right?
Yeah, supply.
And I mean, here's the thing too. Even if it dipped 10 or 15%, that's not a dip. That's a crash. If it goes down 15%,
that's not a crash. That's a
going down
correction.
15%.
That's a correction. That's not a crash.
Okay, so let's not
crash
split
is
hairs.
like pennies on the dollar. That's not a crash.
Home prices going down 15% is not a crash?
That's not a crash.
You need to go look up the definition.
Okay, 2008. What happened? That was a crash, right? We dropped what, 50, maybe 75% in home value?
Correct.
Okay, 20% is not a crash.
Go back and look up the definition. Okay, regardless, a huge dip, whatever you want to call it.
I call it a correction.
A correction. It is a correction.
Yes.
You know? And now I forgot what the hell I was going to say. Because you want to start talking about something that had nothing to do with my point.
My thing is this, man, is I said that the market there's a lot of people out there thinking this market's going to keep going down and they're buying at the
here's
dip.
what I was going to
There's risks
say.
involved.
Here's what I was going to say.
What's the pros and cons?
Even if it went down 10 or another 10 or 15%, you don't know what the interest rates are going to do. So if you're like, okay, I want to wait for homes to go down, it goes down 15%, but then interest rates go up another 1.5%. I'm not saying they're going to. What I'm saying is there's that game that's always being played and that chance that's always going to be there.
You can almost bet that they're going to have to.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying. So even if it went down 15%, and now you're paying 1% higher in an interest rate, you're roughly paying around the same.
Yeah.
So I would think that if you've been in the market to look for a home and you want to buy a house, now is as good a time as any. In fact, now you actually stand a decent chance of coming in a little bit below list price, maybe getting some of your closing costs paid for, and having things a lot more on your terms. Are you going to get it for, 15, 10, or if I write a super low ball offer, am I going to get it for that price? Probably not, but you're going to get terms a lot better for you, and you're going to get probably below list price. And as far as new builds, you're definitely going to be getting some incentives on that.
Okay, so let's real quick bringing up the incentives. DJ just brought up. So what builders are offering is a 3.85 lock rate incentive. I haven't heard that. 3.875. That's way.
I think
too
Joey
low.
made a mention about one of the builders. Joey with Chuckus made a mention of one of the builders that was doing that. I don't know what builder that is. That might be correct.
So
I know that
that's incorrect.
That's incorrect.
No. Well,
okay.
Listen. Here's why I can say it. So what they're saying is that you go and you talk to a builder, because I've been talking to builders, and they have a 2-week move-in or a week and a half move-in. If you're going to close by the end of the month, and let's say it's like you have a week to move in, then they'll try to give you an incentive. What I've seen the lowest come up as is 4.99 rate.
Yeah.
But that's if you're going to move in within a week. So they're saying it's a short-term move-in ready home.
Yeah.
Because here's the deal. They want to get rid of these properties because they've overbuilt, or these people that backed out or fell out or whatever. They have to just push the inventory.
No, I get it.
That's what they're doing.
Those are the same ones with the quick delivery ones that are either ready to go right now, or they'll be completed the next month or two when Feds raise the interest rates as much as they did. Those are the ones where I think it was American West for Rainbow Crossing Luxury. They were offering, on 3 other quick deliveries, they're offering, They're offering 5% closing costs for the buyers. So that'll cover your full 3% of your closing costs, and you can use the other 2% to buy down your rate. And then they're offering another 30 to 40 grand in flooring incentives.
I got a question on that, though.
Granted, those homes are in the mid 800s.
Yeah.
But one was like 870, and you're going to be getting it for like 800 now, and your closing costs paid for.
Yeah.
With a lower interest rate.
Do you think that's a good way to go with the Fed policy and how things are moving?
What do you mean?
I'm just
Yeah, I mean, I think that if the Feds are going to continue to raise interest rates, yeah, I think that's what I'm saying, which is,
Did I just throw him off?
if you want to wait a little bit longer, I mean, I understand, but I'm saying that things aren't necessarily going to be in your favor.
It's the old,
they may not be, and even if they do, it's probably not going to be that much of a difference.
Yeah, it's the old catch falling knife.
No, here's the thing, though.
You can't really time anything.
Yeah.
Well,
perfectly.
listen, you talk about the dip. So we're talking about new homes. Just to kind of go off that, we're going to go back to what I was telling you about. Is it strategically a good time to do that? But you look at the market, you look at new builds. That might be an incentive that one builder is giving out because you're moving into a property that is a new home that you can't make custom changes to. It's ready to go. You have to go and take the... And so look, there's pros and cons to that. You're going to take a lower rate. They're going to try to push the inventory. So yes, if you're trying to move into a house in a week or two and they can't get somebody to buy the house, listen, they can't get people in right now. They're just not. It's so funny how things have flipped.
I know, right?
Builders need realtors
Dude,
a lot
last
more
year at this time, they were like, "What's your realtor showing your face in my door? Get the hell out of here, you peasant!" That's the way they were last year, and now they're like, "Oh, we'll give you 4%, 5% commission. We'll pay all your buyers' closing costs," and this is all within like a matter of 2 months. I love it.
Yeah.
So listen, let's go back.
Nice.
So we see a market that is now 2 months supply. We're going to look at this here. We have now a drop in the 400. It's 480,000 from what we just saw on the average price for a single family residence home. And why do you keep looking at my camera?
I thought you were looking at something.
I'm looking at the camera. I'm talking.
I thought you were talking about the stats. What drop down?
Yeah, put your hand in front of the camera again. You're just a great. All right, man, bring it down, Brett. Bring it down. Take it from
Don't
10
tell me
to
to
a
do
2.
something or I'll do it.
10 to a 2 here, buddy.
Just to spite you, bud.
So listen, you look at these new
Be
homes.
professional. Thank you.
Okay. You look at these new homes, right? And you see what we're seeing. And you're saying buy at the dip, right? And you're saying buy at a position where you can maybe buy 20, 30. How far do you think it's going to go? You said 20?
I don't think it's going to go down. I didn't say it was going to go down that. I said that even if it did.
What do you think it's going to go down? I want your opinion. That's what people are here for. We want your opinion, Brett. Okay.
I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe 10. Maybe 10%. Like, I mean, I don't talk about things I don't know. Like, to sit there and try to predict with all the things going on right now, oh, it's going to go down 7% or 10%, or it's not. Like, I don't know.
Well, I think the main thing you gotta look at is what's going on with what people can afford and what they're looking forward to, because what you have is high. Everything has gone up. So you got your fuel prices, you got your food prices, you got your cost of living has just gone through the roof. So it's like everything goes up, and in order to sell or buy a home, I think they're gonna have to go down because the interest rates are going up. When you have the consumer price index going through the roof and you have inflation going through the roof and everything's gone up like 30-40%.
Well, I agree, but as far
as like the homes go, if you're going to want to, my opinion is if you're going to want to sell your home, you're going to have to come down into a range where somebody can afford it. That's just, I mean, from my...
Yeah, but listen, we get that part of it.
But there's still plenty of demand here.
But
that's the problem. That's what I was going to say.
There's demand and there's low inventory, but still, I mean, if the people can't buy it, then...
So it's going to come down
to
with
demand, there's somebody that can.
Look, if somebody's willing to buy into any market and needs to buy into a market, they're going to buy it.
Yeah.
I think it's always going to come down to supply and demand, because if you have low supply and the demand is still high, you're going to keep... Look, so the stratosphere prices that people think that they were going to get on these homes, listing homes, I'm listing...
That's done. That's done.
That's done. I mean, and I talk to people, you have to have these conversations listing their home now. It's like, listen, we can list it for this, but you're probably not going to get this. And I've ran comps, and we've looked at the market. We've seen what's happening. You have agents now calling me going, hey, man, how'd
the showing go?
Yeah, how'd the showing go? And also they're saying, well, you know what? This house has... Why did you choose this house and not this house?
Yeah.
Or why are you listing at this price when we're at the same price and we're a little bit higher? Why are you coming in? Like, it's just weird. Now all the agents are trying to correspond with each other. They're trying to work out what's that threshold, because it's so volatile.
I think the market right now with agents and sellers. Go ahead.
Oh, we were talking earlier about the guy who I forget his name again. The guy that predicted the crash last time.
Oh, Michael Burry?
Burry, yeah. So
Nostradamus.
Yeah. So yeah, Nostradamus. Yeah, right.
Kind of.
And yeah.
Stanley Druckenmiller, him too. Stanley Druckenmiller, that dude calls it too.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Right. So he saw it coming.
Yeah.
I mean, he read the signs, but nobody else really did. But then you got the media out there saying, "Oh, we're going to have a market crash. We're going to have a market crash." Is this
So that's
the end
the thing.
of it? So the media gets out there and they play to these people that put the fear into people and that's why our last crash happened.
And well, I mean, all I'm saying is kind of along those lines too, which is whether the market's going to continue up or like it gets exaggerated by the media.
Yeah.
You know, like what is the actual truth, and it gets exaggerated at the same point.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so, but what I'm noticing right now,
Go ahead. Keep talking, Brett.
what I'm noticing now with sellers and some agents, it's about 50-50 right now. Like 50% of them get that the market shifted.
Yeah.
And then the other 50% are kind of still stuck in where we were 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're starting to learn. You need to have the conversations with some people. It's like, hey, the market's not selling like that anymore. And they realize that it's kind of tilted to the other side now. And now they're trying to get their home in at the last second to sell. And they still have the mentality that it's still doing this. And
Are they doing that, though, or are they just saying...
It's about 50-50
Right,
that
but
I've noticed.
here's what I'm looking at is I think people have a misconception that we still have a good... Like, you better sell now, because if you don't sell now, then you miss the peak.
Correct.
And I feel that the peak is already gone, because the peak is now...
It is gone.
This window, so you say buying in the dip. Well, you had the peak. Now we're heading down, which everybody's saying, well, where's the dip going to stop?
So
and
how
everybody's
big's the dip and how long's the dip, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel that we're not going to have a huge dip here. We're not going to have a decrease in home value because of supply. Now, if the supply keeps going up and we have more homes on the market and the demand starts to come down, rates continue to go up, then yeah, you might see us.
So let me ask you
dip.
a question. What if we still have the same demand we have now, but our inventory gets to a normal inventory of 5 or 6 months? Now, obviously that's a lot more of an advantageous market for buyers at that point. Do you see things coming down? And if so, how much? Because, I mean, yeah, the demand's there, but now we've got the supply. And we're not there yet, don't get me wrong. And I'm not saying we're going to, but what if we get to that point? You think that could happen in the next year?
I think it could happen. But here's my thing is that I think it's going to be determined on what rates do and what the Fed does.
Absolutely.
It's unforeseen. The psychological position people take on this and the confidence is really going to determine.
That's really what it is.
What's going to happen.
Psychological.
Now, the supply and the demand is actually what determines how the market is going at that present time. For me, that's how I look at it. So if you have still to this day more supply and less supply, high demand, then you're going to still have this market. Now, if we're at 2 months, a healthy market is what? 4 to 6 months, would you say?
4 to 6, yeah.
Okay. That's not good for builders because now builders have lost their control. Also sellers, because now sellers have to actually negotiate. I brought up a comment. I was talking to a builder rep the other day, and she's like, it's a different world now. It's negotiation. Yeah. You didn't have negotiation power going into a builder.
Well, it's writing
incentives.
letter.
Yeah.
Like writing a letter to explain your circumstances or situation to a seller saying, this is, trying to get to win the seller over on the buy.
So what do you think on this, Brett? Do you think that on your position, why would you buy now in this market versus, because you're saying that you would still buy in this market, right? You wouldn't wait for the dip.
Because I believe that overall we're not going to go into a housing crash. Number one. So believing. Okay, so and I'm not even talking 15 or 20%. Let's say 30 or 4%. I don't think
doesn't feel like 2000.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because what's behind it is a lot different.
Yeah.
Half these buys last year were cash, and the other half were people doing 20 or 30% down.
Right.
And plus their interest rate's so cheap that it's almost free money in a sense.
Yeah.
So I don't think, number one, because we're not going to have a crash. And number two, even if it does go down, me personally, I would weigh out the fact that interest rates are probably going to rise, and therefore, even if I wait, I'm probably not going to get that much better of a deal. So to me, I either rent or I buy. If I'm in a position to buy, I might as well pull the trigger now as long as I can get the house that I want, because now of all times, I probably actually stand a chance of getting that house that I want versus 6 months ago.
I agree.
That's the way I look at it.
Although I disagree.
I think you're wrong.
And I'm going to say...
Oh, you didn't even say anything. Sorry.
But I agree with your perspective on it, but I disagree with it. I mean, we're both real estate agents out there talking to people, so that's okay. You have your opinion on it. You're saying, hey, go buy it.
What do you disagree with?
Well, I disagree with the sense that you're saying, well, go buy because rates may go up and you're still going to be in a good position if you buy today and the market's going to be there and you still have a good opportunity. You just want to buy before things might go up even further. And I think it's yes, maybe for a specific buyer, but I feel people have options now. There's more waiting. Now there's more of a time where you're looking at it going, you know what? It might make sense to buy, but there's no rush. Guys, there's no rush because before everybody was going all in, 30,
Sure.
40 above. Everybody had to try to get theirs, and they were competing against each other, all-time record highs in prices. I think right now, this is giving people the opportunity to evaluate their position, not just on a micro level, on a macro level, as far as where the economy's headed, where inflation's going, and also what's going to happen if they did get into this market or back in the market. Because you have to think that if the market continues to drop and we see prices continue to come down, rates are probably going to sustain themselves. We saw it come down a little bit, 11 basis points, which is not a lot, but it came down a little bit. I would just kind of be strategic and hold off. That's kind of what I would do. It doesn't mean that. So I would say maybe it's a good time, but I would say also, I don't know. I would probably just wait to see what's going to happen the next 30 or 60 days.
Listen, I get if you're hesitant right now to buy, then I think you should wait too, and I totally understand why. But the other side of that coin is, so then you rent the whole time. So now you're paying someone else's mortgage that whole time while you're deciding, and I don't think interest rates are going to go down. I'm not saying they're necessarily going to rise up that much, whereas if you wait, you're going to end up costing you more.
Who said you're renting, though? That you're talking about a primary residence holder. What if you have a couple of properties and you want to just move out here and call it a secondary home? You know, you can't always just say primary buyer, this type of person. It's got to be, hey, what is your position? But overall,
sure,
primary.
So
I
again,
see
but
that.
but even with that, if you're going to buy a second property, if the right property's there, buy it. If you can, if
what's
you don't
the
have
right
to,
property though? And the
whatever
question
it is for your criteria.
The question is that the dip. So I feel that if we did have a correction or a dip, we'll probably drop 15 to 20% max.
Okay.
Now, what would have to happen for that to take place? More properties. We need more months supply.
Sure.
You would have to have less demand and maybe rates even go higher than where they're at today. And then you might see a softening to that level because now people just don't want to move to Las Vegas. It's just undesirable. I don't see that happening. I don't see it happening, no. But that could happen. And if it does happen, there is people out there that says, you know, maybe it's going to dip that far and I'm going to wait for the dip. I can see why they would do that is what I'm saying.
So, and then
I'm
saying that you take a chance too of that completely not happening. So they could be right. I'm not going to sit here. Anybody who says this is what's going to happen in the market a year from now, run the other way because they're full of shit. Because there's so many factors that come into play. Like for beginning of 2020, end of 2019, would you have ever thought that COVID was going to come into play? And would you ever, like, no.
Nope.
You see what I'm saying? So anybody who says things like that, run the other way.
Yeah, but you know what, man? People don't want to overpay for things. Anything in life, especially with inflation.
I understand, but what I'm saying is, are you really going to overpay, even if you buy now or not? Or you might, but if you're in a position right now where you want to buy and you need to buy, and it's what I think now is as good a time as even if you want to wait 6 months or you want to wait a year from now.
I disagree.
Because even if things come down 15%, I think you're taking enough of a chance with the interest rates that it's not going to really make that much of a difference.
So here's where I'm at. We have first-time home buyers I've taken out, and we've written contracts, got them accepted, you as well, and they back out because the rates are too high. Mm-hmm. What does that tell you for that sector? It's just too high to buy a home right now.
Correct.
Okay. So why wouldn't you think that, hey, you know what?
Demand.
Well, let me say
of everyone else.
It's not demand, it's the rates went up.
I understand, but there's still a demand of enough other buyers where
I don't know because
we just discussed that.
No, I think it's different. I think yes, there's a demand, but you have to think that buyers out there are more payment sensitive because of what's happening with the
absolutely
inflation,
they are.
Economy. So look, that sector might be a real big long look. Is this
But
really
you just
what I
got
want to
done
do?
saying, I said, what's your other choice to rent? And you said, well, what about someone who's buying a second property here and stuff and blah, blah,
I think you
and
could
stuff like
justify that on that position. What I'm saying is if you're an investor out there, you're a person out there looking to buy a house, I'm sitting out on the sidelines for 30 to 60 days to see what's going to happen. That's just me. Rates and see what rates.
And people are.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying.
I don't blame some. Listen, I'm not saying if you're in a position to buy right now and you want to buy right now, you need to go out by the end of this weekend and buy a house.
Well, you're going to have to if you want that 3.78 rate.
Yeah, absolutely. I know, right?
That's what builders want, man. Get out there and buy. One week closing.
So I completely understand taking a month, 2 months, and that's honestly what everyone's doing right now, which is the market's not going to crash. Is everyone got shell-shocked. And we've discussed this earlier this week. And everyone's kind of sitting back for a month or two, and they're going to say, they're just kind of absorbing and taking it all in because they're shell-shocked. Not only did they see interest rates jump up on that home loan overnight, but now then they see that in the news. Then they go to fill up their car for gas at the most expensive that they've ever done, and then they go to the gas station to pick up their groceries, which is the most expensive they've ever done. And so they're carrying it with them right now.
Look,
so I get it, man.
The economy's slowing. Rates have gone up. I think it comes down to what is your personal life at home? Do you have two incomes, right? If you do have two incomes, we looked at it. The average salary here in Las Vegas, if you get a salary position, is like $94,000.
Is it really?
Yeah, the average household income though is $60,000. So if you're a salaried employee, $60,000,
Dude,
right?
the average salary here is $94,000?
A salary, if you get a salary position. But the household income is $60,000, right?
So most people aren't salaried here, right?
I don't know the numbers of that.
Most people are probably hourly.
Hourly, yeah, especially hospitality and
the thing is this though,
labor,
the backing out of people we've seen recently. You've had a couple. I've had a couple.
I've had.
So that's the thing, man. We're talking about real life scenarios. Like we've actually seen the impacts of this stuff happening.
Dude, $50 difference.
Yeah,
I'm done.
And that's what I'm saying is if you're in a position where you're going to be sweating $40 or $50 for a mortgage payment, don't buy a house. I totally get it.
But you can't say that, man. Like it's not that. I understand.
Go rent for something maybe a little bit cheaper than or something.
No, what I'm saying is you can't tell them not to buy a house.
Well,
but what you're saying is you got to do your work. Your
think
homework.
about it. Make sure that you're comfortable with that.
Correct.
Yes, absolutely. What I'm saying is I would never think if you're in a position where it's going to be that close, then yes, I'm not saying not go ahead and buy a house. Obviously, I'm pro people buying homes and pro home ownership. But what I am saying is you need to make sure that you can do that and you're comfortable with that. And because the worst thing in the world I can imagine, a living hell to me, would be I finally buy a house and now I can't even enjoy my house because every day I'm sweating my mortgage payment. Dude, what kind of house is that?
Yeah, right.
So I'm going to say this. A
Exactly.
lot of people think, hey, man, we're going to still go in and buy. We talked about that type of buyer, which didn't buy in the market. They were not in the frenzy. They were not in the competition. I
have a bunch of buyers like that now.
Yeah, they were like, hey, you know what? I'm going to let everybody sort this thing out, and I'm going to wait on the sidelines. Like I said, that's what I would do. Now, here's the difference, though. If I can afford a primary residence, and I have a family, and I find my dream home, or I find my home that I really want to be in, or it's a destination of Las Vegas that I want to be at, even if it dips, markets come back.
Yes.
Right? So the point is, are you buying to strategically make money off of this thing? Or are you trying to, hey, you know what? This is my family's household that we're going to put in.
Well, how you make money? If you're flip, hey man, all the power to you.
How about this?
I mean, you're taking,
Okay,
hey, and believe me, I know plenty of flippers right now that they're full speed ahead. Like they are literally full speed ahead, and I'm just like,
every
single
single
for
week.
A second.
Listen,
I don't know.
Every week,
I just did one earlier this week.
Yeah, I'm telling you, dude, they're full.
Flip,
Dude, they're full speed ahead. The flippers,
they got no problem.
Yeah.
Listen, you have investors still buying properties here. I have people calling me almost 3 to 4 times a week. I get a random call. Hey, Dan, I know you're a realtor in Las Vegas. We're planning to buy homes. Do you have any homes that we can buy for investment property? I'm like, how did you find me? Oh, we found you online and all this stuff. Great. So what do you do? Oh, we're flipping.
Yeah.
We'll give you any price that you want. We're just looking for homes in general. Yeah. Give us a number. I'm like, give you a number?
Yeah. Dude, that's what I'm saying. Is
crazy.
those in the hedge funds, they're full speed ahead. They don't give a shit about the market. They are literally full speed ahead buying.
Yeah,
And as long as you still have that going on,
those are usually the big boys.
they come in and strong arm you.
Yeah.
This is cash.
Yeah.
Here's the terms you want.
So for me, I disagree with you in the sense that I don't feel that the market. If I was a buyer, like let's say I don't have to buy a home. Let's say I'm somebody that
You
doesn't
just
have a
said
family.
now would be a good time to buy, Dan.
No, I
Yes,
said
you did.
case
you
by
rewind
case.
the tape. Rewind the tape. You
Let's
just
rewind
said
it. Case by case.
that. Where's the rewind button?
But I'm going to tell you this, as an evaluation. Are you looking at that camera again?
I just wanted you to throw off your mind, dude. That's how I mind Jedi people. Anyways,
Man, Brett just thinks he's in his own world right now. So let me say this. I love
always.
it. So I want to say this. I would wait on the sidelines if I was you. We've talked about it. If you were in the market and then you didn't want to compete with other buyers, there's no necessity to buy. If I'm buying a secondary home, let's say I live in Hawaii, which I have a ton of people that are looking to do that, and they want to buy a secondary home out here in Las Vegas. You have to put 20% down on these deals now. I was talking to people about it. So there's a lot more layers to this.
sure.
Right?
So you said, so when would be a good time for them to buy?
Well, I think, like you said, it's got to be the right deal. But it's also this. If I'm skeptical that the market's going to keep declining and you're going to see inventory keep going up, we're at 7,000 homes on the market roughly right now, maybe a little bit more. Why would you not hold off?
So what's your threshold of when you're going to buy then?
I think the threshold is this. You have to monitor the markets, monitor rates, and then monitor the psychological
So it's almost
position
like
people are in.
it's almost like you have a threshold for a certain criteria, and then what I'm saying is, what if it doesn't hit that criteria?
Well, it's a risky position to be in.
There you go.
But who cares?
So are
But
you really
listen,
going to be better off or not better off by waiting? It really comes down to your position of where you're at right now in life, right?
No, I think it's if you're investing into a property and you have the luxury to wait and you don't have to buy a primary residence and move your family in or move
Sure.
and you don't have you're not pinned to go say, hey, I got to go buy a house. I think that's the type of buyer I'm talking about.
Understandable.
Okay,
So what's your
so-
game plan then of when you are going to buy? What's your criteria? What's your threshold?
So if it was
that
me,
is interesting to me because
if it was me, I would wait 30 days.
Okay.
Evaluate. If the rates continue to come down a little bit, then I'm going to say, you know what? I see a trend. And then I'm going to look at the data and I'm going to say, well, if it's trending down, if the market goes up, I'm watching shows like the French Workbench podcast to get the information, right?
The best ones, only the best.
Then I'm going to say, hey, you know what, man? I'm going to go and watch the data and watch this information and say, you know what? I think I'm going to wait again. Now, if we see a decline 10% and then we see another week, all of a sudden, boom, there's a sharp, change, right? We see, wait a second, something's changed. Rates have come down. People are buying again.
Do you think it's good? Well, I mean, I should say realistically with the odds. How many times do people time the bottom of the market?
I think
Zero. Because by the time you realize the bottom has happened, it's already going back up.
I don't think it's that they're going to get it exactly at the very lowest. I mean, that's just like nobody has that crystal ball.
You're saying people have time to sit back and kind of observe a little bit.
It's different today. And you know what?
Yes, it is. I'm not denying
If you
that.
want to wait and see if everybody's dip might be different. If you're 20%, if you're 15%, then that might be okay for you, right? Because you've saved enough money or you made enough progress in the seeing that the houses have dipped. We look over here, and I got my guy John. I want to bring him up real quick. He said that there's 25 houses from the $800,000 range a month ago, and now there's 85 homes for sale. That just tells you.
Oh my God, 85 in a city of 3 million?
No, but that's a
God.
big deal. Listen, that is a big deal.
It has increased, but that 85 is still tremendously below what it should be.
What he's saying is you're missing the point, is that in a very short window, there's many homes in his price range that's come on the market.
Yes, there are. That's good. That's good. That means he's got a lot more choices.
Correct. So let's talk about your situation.
So he has every
so let's
right
talk about
to wait a little bit.
I'm going
if
to
he
talk.
wants.
Listen, here.
I don't blame him.
So Doug, what would you do in this market right now? Would you wait for the dip or would you buy today?
Well, obviously we've been here 25 years, so we've been through all of the ups and downs.
Yeah, but in the position that I'm bringing up,
seeing this right here today, my first thought is we're not going to go down very much further than this. And so
really,
yeah.
Based upon just why though? Why do you feel that way?
It's because there's no phony loans out there. There's no stated income loans. There's no
because our opinions are backed by facts.
I mean
the
you know, and they're not doing they're not putting out the loans like they did back in 2008. People are coming in cash. People are owning their homes, whereas before they were putting $5,000 down and trying to make $1 million on their house. That was the 2008 crash. So we had investors coming in, and they bought cash. They just had to take a little bit lower rate of return on their house. Instead of getting 10% return, they were getting 5% return for their interest payments.
Yeah, but the crash thing is this
so if it were me, I'd be looking right now and just seeing what's happening, not like necessarily jumping right in with both feet, but I'd be looking to see where the market's going, and probably like 30 days, give it 30, 60 days and see where things are going to go, and knowing what's going on with the Fed and all that.
I think
the thing that kills me is that the Fed raises the basis points, like, what we're up 1.5 basis points, I guess, or whatever from where they were at. But yet the banks are going up from 2% up to 6%, so they're going up 4%.
Yeah.
And a 1.5 is only, 150 basis points is what?
I mean,
a 1.5%.
I think we all
1.5%.
In agreement where I don't think any of us think it's a bad idea right now to wait 30 days, wait 45, wait 60 days. That one guy, John, that's in like 800 price point. I think unless he needs to buy something right now, or unless it's like the house that he absolutely needs to have right now, I think he's better off to wait 30, 45 days and see what happens, because in that price point right now, they're starting to come down.
And I think also,
or at least get more terms on what you want.
The way I always look at properties too is like my primary residence is going to be, it's a liability. Is
it a liability?
It's a liability.
What is?
Your primary residence.
I don't see it that way.
Your primary residence is a liability?
Yes. And then if you have
so maybe on the books it is, but not
if you have investment properties and you have assets that are making like a monthly revenue, you're getting, say you have rental properties, right? Mm-hmm. And you're making money off of them, right? So that's an asset income.
Yeah.
But you're not making any money off of your primary residence.
Correct.
So that's more of a liability, because if the air conditioner goes out, okay,
equity.
But are you going to turn around and sell it and then buy it and then sell it and then buy it?
You can just draw the equity out of it and get a HELOC.
Yeah.
What?
Nothing.
What are you laughing about?
I just saw a comment that made me kind of laugh, but I don't know if I should say it, because if I say it,
I'm gonna go off.
Oh, it's this roof is gonna.
I will be calm.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Okay, so guys, I wanted to say this, and I've been really itching at this. So we have a nice new comment, and I'm not going to say names, but he says Brett talks so much yet says so little. Hey, that is a very solid comment out there.
Yes.
So if you guys out there want to know how to really get under Brett's skin, go ahead and keep making comments like that.
That would have hurt if I had feelings.
You don't have any feelings?
Nope.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I thought you had one.
Yet he's still watching. So thank you for your time.
Hey, that means you've made an impression, Brett.
That's right.
There you go.
You love me or you hate me. That's the way it goes.
But I love. Listen, everybody's got an opinion.
Yeah,
and we can't attack them.
And his thoughts are probably backed by absolutely nothing, but it's all good.
Oh, are you getting sensitive now?
No.
Okay, are you sure?
He should talk about it on his podcast. Oh wait.
Hey, let me talk this way. So. Listen, let's kind of go back, but hey, you know what?
It's all good.
Your opinion's your opinion.
Hey, he's entitled to his opinion, and not the first time someone said I talk too much.
No, it just said you talk a lot, but very few little words.
So for someone who talks so much, you really don't say much, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
It's all good.
But you know what? That's good, because at the end of the day, man, it's like
I'm for sure a talker.
You're gonna.
And
get
you like
nuggets.
what I have to say, or you don't.
So
life happens.
Doug, what else were you going to say about that?
Well, it's just the Brett was saying, you could take out a HELOC, and then what happens with that HELOC? Are you going to use that HELOC for asset investments that are going to be making you money it's like you kind of got to look at the revenue stream, I guess, a little bit based on what your property is, and because you can't just keep buying and selling your house. I mean, it's a liability until it produces an income.
So let me say this though: you don't take the approach it's a liability if you're moving your family in. That's how I look at it. Well, listen, technically it is.
Yeah.
But it's a liability that you have to kind of say, yes, it's an obligation, but it's not like, hey, you know what? Because what's the alternative? Like Brett said, if you're trying to buy a home for your family or yourself or whatever, you're going to pay rent somewhere, right? So I think at that point, it makes sense to say, well, maybe we really need to evaluate things. Now, what we've seen is buyers are backing out because these prices and the payments are just crazy high, right? 6%. These guys are looking at a rate. If you're in a new home, let's say, back in October, 3.5 rates, right?
Yeah.
Now you're at 6. So now your payments like $400 or $500 difference on some of these. I would back out. So I understand like these builders like, oh, well, what's going on? Hey, why didn't you have the option to lock in on a 6-month lock before?
Right.
These people wouldn't be backing out. That's where your problem was at. Have your lenders do that. Why did you wait till this problem happened?
Yeah, I think there's not a lot of foresight in a lot of cases.
Well, I think everybody's looking at profit margins.
Don Draper.
They look at it.
Learn how to spell my name, bud.
Listen, hey, so he's still affected. He's emotionally.
I'm not affected.
You're emotionally tarnished.
I told you I don't
on this.
have feelings.
Are you emotionally tarnished now?
My whole 4th of July is ruined.
I need you to give him a big hug when this is done, and I want you to put him over your shoulder. Okay. This one's a over the shoulder pat a couple times because he's really affected right now. What were you saying?
I forget.
He's the Draper, bro.
So listen, here's the thing.
Anyway,
Here's my thing. So let's end this conversation, and we got to keep moving. All right. So first off, I want to say, you guys, we all appreciate you guys watching the show. If you guys have any questions on anything, please leave them in the comments section.
Unless you have negative comments, then we don't.
It's not negative. They're just it's a slight. It's a small slight.
That wasn't.
But that doesn't mean it's bad. He didn't disrespect you.
Oh.
He just said you talk a lot.
That wasn't disrespectful.
With very so little to say.
Oh wow. Well. Obviously, he's an expert.
Listen.
Anyways, it's all good, man.
Here's where I'm going with this. All right, so if you guys want to make comments or questions, no problem. We obviously want to help you guys, and you know what? We learn from you guys as well. There's nobody out here knows everything. We all want value. So I want to kind of move into a different sector here. I want to talk about what's going on with rates and what we've seen. So rates have come down. So I think a lot of times people are watching this stuff, and I'm getting text messages. DJ, he's a guy out here that watches the show all the time. He's constantly sending me text messages about rates and things like that, which I see it too. But it's cool because everybody's involved, right? And so 11 basis points, it's not a small downward turn, but it's still enough to say that's good news, right? It's
small
positive.
Downward turn.
It's a small downward. Yeah. It's a slight, but it's better than it consistently going up. And I think that's going to hopefully motivate buyers. We look at these new homes, move-in ready homes. We talked about this. Talk about what you're seeing out there in the new home sector, Brett.
Lots of incentives. And it changed very quickly, too. Like I said, I think it was American West at Rainbow Crossing Luxury, which is off of Rainbow and Blue Diamond. I mean, they've had like 3 or 4 quick move-ins right now. Like I said, they're in like the mid 800s, but they're offering 5% of the buyer's closing costs. They're offering like, I think it was another $40,000 in flooring.
Yeah.
So, that's just one builder, but I mean, they're literally. I was up at Savannah with Taylor Morrison at Red Point in Summerlin. They as well are offering, I think it was 4% buyer's closing cost, and then they're offering another, I think it was $10,000 in flooring. So
they're offering a lot.
It's literally the more weeks that it sits there, the next week they're going to come back with even bigger incentives.
Yeah. And then across the country, I want to talk about that. Everybody was worried, or not worried, but was wondering about having mortgage foreclosures, right? Or just foreclosures in general. And I never wished upon that to anybody. I'll tell you why, is because a lot of times these buyers are getting into something that potentially, like in a market like this, we have credit-worthy buyers. You've said it, right? Yeah. And the demographics is there. You also look at, a lot of what's happening in this world. The solid industry of mortgages right now, where people are getting into a loan and they're not having to worry about making their payment because the jobs are starting to pay a little bit more. That's still there. Yet, we did see an uptick slightly across the country. This is not here in Las Vegas, of foreclosures. Now, Why is that occurring? I could say that potentially maybe people never got back to work, or they're not making the same money. Now we have our unemployment is still pretty low based upon the numbers. So I know there's jobs out there, but also people that were on those moratoriums, as far as the, getting help, as far as not making their payment, they're going to get supplemented as far as, you know what I'm talking about with not paying this was extended. So
moratorium.
I think once that's switched over and now they don't have that option, some of these casualties has happened with buyers out there with mortgages. Now, I don't feel that we're going to, in this market here in Las Vegas, because everybody's so equity rich here of how fast this market went up, nobody's going to leave their property the way they did. They're going to do all they can.
Well, if you look at the stats, last week, I think it was like 25 foreclosures. This week we only have 16.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So you're seeing it across the country.
Too, yeah.
But I think, to wish upon we have a crash in a market and to have properties where you're getting pennies on the dollar, that's great, man, because people out there are really gonna thrive and make profit off that. But what about the people that put all their money into these houses if they did have that happen, especially back in 2007 and 8? Yeah. I understand they put probably a lot less money down, but still, people are losing the money that they've invested into, staying at this house,
or even just losing the home. I mean,
exactly, shelter.
Yeah,
shelter,
losing their security or a secure place to live or keep their family. That part's hard.
Yeah, so I just want to say this. I don't think that there's going to be a crash like that, and I was just looking at the numbers. But again, we're starting to see an uptick this last quarter. I feel that the foreclosures are probably going to settle down a bit.
Yeah.
Because again, that was probably that first wave of people that were really just in a very bad position. But again, if you had equity, I'm going to do everything I can to stay in that house. If I got to get a loan modification, you know what I mean, or I got to do something to supplement or satisfy with a lower payment and work something out with the servicer, I'm probably going to do that. Yeah. So
I want to answer DJ's question.
Yeah.
He wanted to know if he can still get incentives if he signed a contract with him back in April. Probably not. But I would say whoever your agent is, maybe it's worth a conversation for them to contact American West again and see if they can. But in my experience, kind of once you're in contract, it kind of is what it is. But I don't blame them. I mean, it's like you get in contract and now they're offering all these incentives they weren't before.
Right.
So maybe it's worth a conversation for your agent to talk with them. I don't know, but in my experience, that's kind of.
And if you guys want questions like that, you can reach to Brett or myself. We're both real estate agents, but Brett, he's been in the business 17 years, so he's got a vast knowledge of what's going on out there. And Brett, you're in the trenches, man. So I know you get a lot of grief on the show, but you also know a lot of what you're doing. I get it.
I'm just very opinionated, and some people don't like that.
Hey,
and I get it, dude. Believe me. I mean, I honestly wouldn't want to really probably hang out with myself.
Really?
Yeah, man. I'm pretty.
Dude, what if somebody was
so
like,
I get it, whatever. So no worries.
I don't know, man. I think having two Bretts in the world would be an amazing experience.
Yeah, man. I think shit would get thick real quick. I'd be choking myself out all day long.
All right, let's go over here. I want to bring up something really quick, guys. So here, first off, I want to bring up, we're going to go over this market stats here really quick, but I want to show you guys. So this is LV Home Professional's website. If you guys are looking to get into a home, I want you guys to start here and look at all these properties that's come on the market. So I want you guys, please, again, this is a real estate show, and I want you guys to understand that this is where you can get started, subscribe, or get registered here.
Look at
yeah.
Mortgage payment, $100,000 a month.
Also, we have landing pages. Now, I want to say this. All the landing pages are on links. Okay, so in the comments section of this video we're putting out, you're going to have open houses to look at for the week. You're going to have This is a quick move-in for Dahlia right here. If you guys want to click on my tour, go to this website right here. Like I said,
where's
all the
that
links.
At, dude?
This is in Northside Las Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's the builder?
It was Taylor Morrison.
Okay.
Yeah, Taylor Morrison. So check this out. Also, we have this one here coming soon. So if you guys want to know what's coming on the market soon, this is another link. It gets you guys set up. We have quick move-ins. Here's the other one, Azalea. This is also on Taylor Morrison. This is a quick move-in, and there's videos that you guys can check out and go through the process of looking at this information. So this is a great place to.
There's plenty of other quick move-ins right now as well where they're offered incentives. So just contact Dan because this is just what he's covered right now. But there's plenty of other ones. If there's a certain builder or a certain community, let Dan know, and we will contact them and find out what their incentives are, because they're literally changing by the week.
Yeah, I think having this information up, I mean, we're going to look at starting to put out a link for any move-in ready homes, because look, what we're starting to see out there as a real estate agent, you're getting emails all the time about move-in ready, and it's starting to get very, very vast, where the incentives are starting to get out there. And you have people that are representing the builder willing to work with you a lot more with negotiation position, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a huge difference. When you walked into a builder before, this is what you get, and that's all you get.
Dude,
if you don't want it,
I'm leaving quick delivery homes now, and the builders are calling me. Hey, just so you know, here's our dude. You couldn't even get them to even look in your direction 6 months ago.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I mean, you look at all this stuff here, and it's cool because you can get you can go through the video, and then you can also register here if you guys want to get started on future move-in ready homes, or if you guys want to make an offer on this house. I can definitely get you guys started and set up. I have connections at the builder to get you guys set up to get in to these homes right now. And I have I would say, a pretty good roster list of people that are at builders that I've developed relationships over the time with, where they're giving me these emails in this incentive, and they're telling me, hey, you got a client, send them to me. I'll take care of you. I'll take care of them. And they're on it like no tomorrow. So, I mean, yeah, it's a very, very good position to be in. So if you guys are out there looking for a real estate agent, please, LB Home Professionals, check us out there. Let's go into really quick. I want to bring up, and Brett, you can go ahead and look at this. So I want to bring up what's happening in the markets here.
Market stats.
Yeah, market stats really quick. We'll just do a very. So 480,000. Okay, that's dropped, right?
That's
for a single family residence home month to month.
What was it?
It was 480. Before it was 490.
Okay.
So we've dropped a little bit, right?
Cool.
This is the average price.
A little bit helps.
New listings that we have coming out.
Look at this.
Look at this.
Dude,
look at this line.
That's what I'm saying. Look at that.
Look at that line. That's what we need,
If that was
people.
Bitcoin, I'd be one happy SOB right now.
Oh, we'll talk about Bitcoin in a minute and just go over those numbers. But look at this.
Days of the old.
Look at that. That's what is that? 4,800.
89.
Yeah, and that's single. That's not all the homes. That's just single family residents.
So here's what I have, man. If you want to include the condos and single families, there are 6,000.
Wow.
No, I'm sorry. There's 7,033.
Told you. Hey,
7,033.
When I started, I said around 7,000.
10% increase. So every week, we've been doing this, 5 or 6 weeks? Literally every single week has been an increase of 10% more. Literally. So, and foreclosures, like I said, it went down 316.
Yeah.
Coming soons are actually the exact same as they were last week, 217.
Yes.
Isn't that crazy? And 60 days plus in the market. Out of all the homes, 1,024 of them have been on the market 60 days, 90 plus days, 500 of them, and 120 days in the market, 329 homes right now on the market.
I'm going to say this. So let's go here. Homes for sale.
It is what it is, brother.
Single family residence. Look at there you go. It's going up here.
Yep.
These are all good positive signs. Right there?
3,200.
3,270.
So right?
Yeah.
That's doubled.
And you're up to what? Yeah, look at that. That is.
That's up almost 50%.
That's outstanding, man.
But man, that was just so. I mean, look at those lows going down.
Let's look at this.
Stupid.
So let's look at this here real quick on month supply. Look at this. Have you seen over 2 months? We finally hit it, Brett.
Dude, look how low that.
I know. Dude,
look at that.
We finally hit over 2 months.
That should be talked about in history books, man. Well, right. You know.
So I mean, you look at this, and then you have. Let's go into the dollar volume. We can go to that. That's coming down. Price per square foot. The average price per square foot, and this is all of everything is 200. So listen, man, we're starting to see things starting to level off with that. Look, people are still going to buy homes. They're still going to. I've seen the numbers where they're still paying list, but what it's telling us is that the amount of people going out and buying these homes is a lot less with rates going up and what we're seeing. And now we're seeing the data to show.
And that's understandable. And I want everyone out there to know, like, I'm all for homes going down too. Believe me, it's not like, you know, I don't know about you, but I'm primarily a buyer's agent. For the past year and a half, I haven't been getting my ass handed to me with my buyers. I haven't been a listing agent
what's
where I put it on
recently?
the market and I get 20 offers
what
over.
What are some
of the
experiences you're going through besides the higher
before
payment?
And now?
Just now, yeah, exactly. What's happening? You said you're getting your ass handed to you.
Before, for the past year and a half, it's like anything, man. You've got a buyer and you're writing it for 20 or 30 grand over and you're getting beat out and you're writing 15, 20 offers and it's an ongoing battle. And then the sellers have an attitude like the world owes them something, so they won't compromise on shit once you get into the deal. I mean, I've been dealing with that. Same thing with the listing agent. Hey, I'm going to take 1.5% higher than you as a buyer's agent because I can get away. Like the whole 9 yards from top to bottom.
Do they dictate though the commissions for that? Like
the listing agent does,
right? So
right.
I mean,
that's not the main point. I'm just saying that's one of the things. So what I'm saying is for the past year and a half, I'm primarily a buyer's agent. So I've been going through the trenches and the thick of it with a lot of these buyers, man. And I'm all for the market being more affordable. I'm all for the market coming down.
If you're a buyer's agent, you'd sure like to see a whole lot more homes on the
yes,
on the
I'm
market.
all for more homes on the market, dude. You know what it's like to have like 6 or 7 buyers and I can't get them into a house?
But you know what?
Dude.
But you know what? Here's the thing though about that is if rates are going up, yeah, you want to see that, but you want to see that in a good balanced market. Yes. We're not in a balanced market. It's still an unhealthy market.
Agreed.
Because
but
we don't
what
have
I'm
enough
saying
homes
is
on the market.
I'm more in favor of a buyer's market than I am a seller's market.
The correction.
But just by primarily of where I do most of my real estate transactions.
So you go in and you get a listing though. I mean, I've been on listing presentations. You go in there and you talk to them. Now, my thing is this, Brett, is people have to buy into you and then they have to buy into what you're going to do to market their property.
Yes.
You do property tours, which we do for my team. We do a lot of things and give a lot of added value. We're doing Facebook ads and things like that to market. There's a lot of different things you can do. So if you're a seller out there trying to list your home, we go the extra mile, I feel, to do that, because we really try to market and really evaluate. And, I've walked into houses where, man, in the past, they would get away with houses that have it's all just
a shithole.
Yeah, it's a shithole. I mean, carpet's bad. The baseboards are dirty, scuffed up. Things in
That's
the
what I'm
kitchen.
saying is the homes that should have never sold for full price were selling for full price.
Correct.
And that's not happening now. But they should have never. That's what people understand.
Today's world, you're going to have to really roll up your sleeves and work hard and actually try to sell the house now. That's the difference.
Yes.
Before, you could just say, boom.
That's what I'm saying.
Here you go.
Dude, I didn't have the last year and a half where I just did paperwork and then it sold itself and I did nothing. Like, no, dude, I've actually been in the trenches doing all the work with as a buyer's agent. So
I walked in a house.
Listing agents got to actually work now.
I walked into a house one time, right? And I'm looking at this house and I'm sitting there and I got my buyers, right? And this is like it was 300,000, but I don't want to say the location because you're not really supposed to put that down as a realtor. But I walked in there and I was like, man, how do they think that this person or these people want to buy this house? Because there's just so much work. The AC unit was barely holding on. Like you can hear it.
The house was pretty worn.
Yeah, it was pretty worn. I mean, there was some problems with the roof. I mean, you're looking at this stuff. The carpet, they have things that's outdated, right? Been years outdated. And they're like, yeah, I'm just going to sell it for what it is.
Yep.
And what's crazy, I was like, no, I'm not doing it. I told my buyers, no, we're not doing it.
Yeah.
Week later, somebody bought it.
They got 3 other offers.
Somebody bought it.
Didn't matter.
So yeah, I mean, when we look at it, because I've bought quite a few houses, I bought investment properties as well, and everybody has their own idea of what the property needs to look like. I go into these homes, and you would think that people would like try to clean up a little bit, or make sure that their home was in decent condition when an inspector comes through there, because you can kind of tell how the maintenance is, and so then you start looking a little bit harder and harder.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Anybody that's listening, if you're selling your house, clean the thing up and make sure that it looks like it's been maintained, or maintain it. Because
I've had tenants in there, and they're just like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and so. Yeah, but everybody has their own idea of what they want to have. I've seen people go into a manufactured home that's like not even level, and they're like, yeah, that's all right. I've had.
Wait, you just said he's so right.
Dude, no, I've had.
Let's wing it. Let's just go.
Yeah, all they were doing is they're like, yeah, okay, well, that's okay, whatever.
That's why you get a home inspector, people, because you don't want to buy a house with a foundation issue. And you know what? I can attest, Doug or not over here, we went on a home. I'm like, man, I think I'm going to buy this for investment, right? Let's take a look. Let's take a peek. I'm like, yeah, what do you think, Doug? Well, I saw Doug's face when he walked in. He was like, I don't know about this one.
Yeah, you might want to think about another.
I don't know about this one.
There was
Hey, Dan, friend to friend here?
yeah.
He's like, get out of here.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
But I mean,
don't wanna be
the
messing with
foundation, right? It was a foundation issue.
It was a foundation. It was a fact that it was an outside house, outside wall built to the inside of the house. It was a, you had the master.
I'll never get the permit on that.
And I was like, hey,
Yeah,
let's go
yeah,
all
yeah.
in. Let's put the chips in.
And if you remember right, it's like the master bedroom kind of wrapped around, and there was really no place for a king size bed in a master bedroom. And it's like,
What's the seller's market right now?
hey, and the master bathroom sat inside the little inside arc on the master bedroom. It was a.
See, here's the thing: is if you're in a market
It was a
like so.
doozy.
So here's where I was at. Is again, it goes back to the dip and all the things that goes on. I was not in a position where I needed to buy that house,
Right.
which is great. If you're in a position where you have a family, you were back in the market 6 months ago. You had slim pickings, and the thing is I think my position on that was
You didn't even have slim.
It was like you just didn't have a chance. Your odds were greatly depreciated because of how many people were in the market and the overbidding that was going on in these houses, and then you had nothing to choose. I was literally looking at that home because there was nothing else in the market.
Right, and
You know?
and yeah, exactly. And then the thing is if you could have bought or if you would have bought a condo to maybe say a condo that needed to be renovated or whatever, that would have been a better investment than what that one was, because that one was I could see the writing on the wall on that one. That was going to be a hard one to flip around because not everybody would actually probably be looking to buy a condo.
No.
You could dump that the next day.
I want to bring up this, so we're going to segue to another topic here. And what is that? Oh, that's the wrong one. That's the one.
What? What is it? I can't hear it.
I don't know. It sounded funny. I don't know what it was. Anyways, so let's get right into this here real quick. So I want to talk about cryptocurrency.
We do.
All right.
Uh-oh.
I want to say this. So we're going to break 3 minutes on this because I know you're a crypto guy. So first off, I want to bring up, because we got to end the show here in a second, but we need to talk to Doug. So give us about 12 minutes, people, and we'll be off. I'm going to give you about 3 to 4 minutes on this. Crypto's declining.
Yes.
Everybody thinks this is really going to affect the market, which is about $1 trillion of people that's invested into it. If you think about it on a big scale, that's a very small percentage. People don't really know that. Plus, it's small amounts of money people are losing. Yet, you're seeing declines significantly.
Yes.
Explain to me why you would invest into crypto. And I don't want you to go into it and say, here's the technicals. Just say,
Oh, believe me, I don't really know that much about technicals, so you won't have to worry about that.
oh, you do. He's like an encyclopedia.
Well, I don't look at it as whether you should buy or not with the technicals, because to me, it's a market that's only 10 or 11 years old. And to say that one cycle is the same as the next, I mean, it's just, there's not enough data or homework to ever realistically say, oh, it's that, which is funny because people try doing that all the time and predict, and it's like, you can't. So here's my overall perspective of it, which is, I believe overall that Bitcoin is going to go well past 100,000, maybe even 1 million someday. Whether you agree with that or not, you have a right to your opinion. That's just what I believe personally. Now, will it happen overnight? Absolutely not. But if you believe that it's going to go well over 100, if you believe it's going to go maybe even to 1 million someday, whether that's 5, 10, 15 years down the road, whatever it is, then Bitcoin's at what, 19,000 right now? Personally, I feel that in the immediate time right now, that it's going to go down to $3,000, $4,000, maybe $6,000 range.
Here's the question, Brad.
Okay?
Here's the question.
But
Here's the question.
Overall, is it now a good time to buy? I would not try to time the market. Now, obviously, common sense says that, is it better to buy Bitcoin at 4,000 than 19,000? Duh. Yes, it's cheaper. But if something's going to go to well over 100,000, were you better off buying it at 60,000? Or are you closer to buying at the bottom at even 19,000?
Right.
You
see what I'm saying?
So we're going to talk about the dip on
this. It could still go down, but 19,000 is still a lot closer to the bottom than at 60,000.
I understand. So now it comes back to the same question of you're saying that you should buy and I'm saying you should wait. Now you're saying you should.
I bought
buy,
some this morning.
And I
coming
should
here.
wait. Yeah,
I bought some this morning before I came here.
So the question though is, we see the data.
Oh shit! Now I'm screwed.
Right, and also we have consumer confidence, right? You are screwed because you're going to
No,
lose
I'm
that.
not.
You're going to lose that money.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
Not
How am I
until
going to
you-
lose that money?
I'll tell you right now because
Not
have you
until
seen
you
the
sell,
have
right?
you seen the data?
So how am I going to lose it?
Because the data is showing that
So
it's
it's gonna go
declining.
to zero?
We're losing money.
Okay.
Okay. So why wouldn't you wait? You're saying just like in the market, in the housing market, I'll buy now. And I'm like, no, you should wait 30 days. Now you're saying go buy crypto, but I'm saying, hey, maybe you want to buy at the dip.
I am not talking about trading.
I'm talking about
buying
investment.
an asset and holding it.
I'm talking about investment. So
yes.
would you rather
so
pay
it's a good investment right now.
Would you rather pay $4,000 for an investment or $19,000?
Well, duh, I'd rather pay $4,000.
Okay, so
but what
why
I'm
don't
saying
you wait
is,
then?
Because it might not hit $4,000.
Well, you see the data, it's going down.
It doesn't data. We just went over this. The data doesn't really matter that much.
Okay,
it
so
does
if-
and it
okay,
doesn't.
So if I bought in at
You asked
$25,000 and I'm now at $19,000,
That's
I lost $6,000.
It's a frivolous conversation. If you're holding on to something for 5 or 10 years,
That's not the question.
For
That's not the question.
I mean, do you see what I'm saying,
Yeah, but
Doug?
you're bypassing the question.
I'm not bypassing the question.
Is,
Let me
would
finish.
you wait until it gets to the lowest level before you buy? I'm not questioning is it a good asset.
Here's
potential.
what I would do, and here's what I am doing. So I'm putting my money behind my words, which is I'm dollar cost averaging in. So just like this morning, I bought a little bit. Now it could go down to 4,000, and I bought it at 4,000 cheaper than 19,000, no doubt. But it might stay at 19,000 and then go up too. I personally think it's going to go even lower, but that lower could be 10,000. It could be 3,000. What I'm saying is, if you believe in it long term, feel free to wait and another month or another year. Feel free to wait until you feel whenever you feel is a good time to buy it. But all I'm saying is it might not go down to those price points. And if you believe in it overall, if you believe in the long term of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, then like I said, buying it even at 19,000, it's not 4,000, but it's still cheap. Like, what's it matter if you bought it at 4,000 or 19,000 if it hits $1 million someday?
So I want to bring something up really quick, guys.
That's a perspective that I take.
Brett Jenny, wait, hold on. Brett Jenny was on the news on Channel 3 News, and I want to bring this up really quick. And you guys, this is celebrity Brett Jenny right here.
Celebrity Brett Jenny.
Here's he at right here.
You know, by the way, they didn't even.
Can you let him talk?
Who, him? He's a loudmouth. Didn't say much.
Is absolutely begging for blockchain and for cryptocurrency.
Well, imagine this.
That's on my YouTube channel. You get it.
Wait, I gotta see that again. Hold on. News 3.
Yeah. That's the one where I did the free press release.
Nice.
So, like, they were.
Blockchain and for cryptocurrency.
Let's watch this real quick.
Well, imagine this: buying a home with just pushing.
We don't want to stay here for 3.5 minutes. They can go to my YouTube and watch it.
Currency. That is what some say could be the future of real estate using cryptocurrency like Bitcoin. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jim Snyder.
And I'm Latoya Soman. Our Lauren Clark joins us. Confusing and really complicated.
Look at you.
That's not me.
Wait a second. Wait a second.
My hips are getting big.
Wait, listen. Did you know he was on Channel 3 this last week?
I told you.
I didn't know that was the video. I don't think I remember seeing that video. Did you know it, Doug?
I didn't know.
Yeah, they
Dude,
did
what
like
happened?
a
Like-
whole 4-minute thing on Monday morning. It was a top story, man.
Was
Dude, I
it?
didn't even know. I'm waiting to pick up my wife from work, and I had one of my clients text me, and she takes a screenshot, and she goes, "Famous," and I'm like, "What?" And I looked down at it because I hit up Lauren Clark, and I said, "When's the interview going to be?" And she never responded back to me. So I didn't even know if it was going to air.
wow.
And then all of a sudden, everyone's like, "Hey, your thing's on." So that's how I kind of found out. But I mean.
Well, that's cool.
Free press release, dude.
Yeah,
Like I said,
absolutely.
they allowed me to form the presidential advisory group for cryptocurrency,
Yeah.
and then I was like, oh, what the hell? Why not? I'll write up a press release on it because
Yeah.
it's free, and the worst they're gonna say is no, and that's the answer I already have right now. And sent out to like 20 news stations, and one of them responded.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
It's all free, so there you go.
Very
Free
cool.
advertising.
Let's go over to Doug here. So anyways, I just want to say this one last thing. Do you buy now or you wait on crypto? Because I think that you wait.
I think both.
I think dollar cost average
Yeah.
is probably a good idea.
Really.
So should
I
you
do.
should you go all in right now? Probably not.
No.
But like I said, I'm not talking about trading either. I'm just talking about buying an asset and holding on to it long-term value.
I'm impressed. And by the way, guys, if you guys want to check out Brett, let's go ahead and look. This is his VegasCryptoAgent.com.
Well, that's just a bunch of videos on
Well,
there.
I know, but that's where you find. What's your Instagram channel or your
Vegas Crypto Agent?
Vegas Crypto Agent.
Yep.
And tell me, like, why do you have that label though? What? Because you did a meeting with like some of the people on the board of the Las Vegas, the realtors, right? Did you meet with people there or something about this?
Are you talking about the Tykes NFT meetup that
I'm talking about the real estate board. You met up with some of the people on the real estate board to say
advisory group.
The advisory group.
Yeah.
So is that why you've become the Vegas Crypto Agent?
I was that way before that.
Okay.
So I've just it's something where I wanted an easy name for whenever anybody thinks about cryptocurrency and real estate transactions in Las Vegas, over a year ago, I kind of was like, I know right now it's not a big thing, but someday it will be normal practice, and I want to be the person they associate with that. So what better way than Vegas Crypto Agent? I mean, I even have a bunch of websites that I've bought for the past 2 years. I just holding on to. I don't even use yet, but I own the domain names that have something to do with Vegas real estate and cryptocurrency and Bitcoin or something.
Yeah.
I even did a bunch for Metaverse and NFTs too.
All right, so if you guys are out there and you guys want to talk crypto, you want to talk real estate, give Brett a call. You guys would be a great marriage. I think you guys would basically, I think he would leave his wife. So it's just like, all right, let's go over here.
No, it's funny because anyone always says, "Oh, you know about Bitcoin?" My wife's always like, "Oh, Jesus." She's like, "Don't even get him started," because I'm like there for like an hour talking.
Like this.
She just walks the other room. Jesus, you start. Don't open that can of worms.
They go like this. Hey, do you guys know anything about crypto? Brett goes.
And my wife goes, "Oh, Jesus," and walks in the other room. He's gonna be there for an hour.
All right, Doug, let's go over to you, buddy. So let's talk a little bit, man, about home inspections and kind of what people are looking for in this hot weather. We know AC units are an issue.
Yeah.
We also know that there's other things. Does the weather really deteriorate other things on a house through hot weather? Because we're starting to get into that 110, 115 degree weather.
Yeah.
What have you seen that's really had a contributing factor to some of these housing problems with heat?
Seals around windows.
Really?
Yeah, I had a house last week that I went around, pushed on the dead side window. I'm about ready to fall out.
How old was the house?
95, 96.
That's not too old, though.
So, no, that ain't very old. I've had that happen actually to some newer houses, like 2 or 3 year old houses. So
really?
So I think, however, the panes, the window panes actually are the ones that don't. So they just don't seal them up or secure them or whatever. But there's a lot of things that the heat does affect on the house. One thing that people, the tile roofs are actually an insulating factor, even though they're like 200 degrees
really
to walk on. Yeah, they're they're actually an insulating, because what they do is they sit up off the roof, and you have like a barrel tile or you have a flat tile, and you have that air gap in there between the tile and the roof sheathing. That actually acts as an insulation barrier, like a resistance.
So like it absorbs the warmth?
Yeah, it absorbs the warmth in there, and it doesn't, like an asphalt shingle roof. When you got asphalt shingle on a roof sheathing, you've got direct heat, radiant heat directed onto your actually a thinner piece of plywood than what you would have on the cement tile, which actually transfers heat a lot easier. And then the older houses, a lot of them only had like 4 inches of that really heavy insulation, but it's all pretty much shot now anyway, because it's all dirty and it doesn't.
I tell people all the time, like, because the difference of your heating and cooling bill in the summertime between a 30-year-old home, bless you, and a brand new home can be the difference between $350 a month and $110 a month.
Oh, it's tremendously
because of the material that's made.
It's like, you can, like some of the old houses, the old 60s houses, they got those really cool picture windows, the big old thick plate windows.
Yep.
And you can put your hand on the inside of the window, and it'll burn your hand.
Hey, I got a question for you on something.
Yeah, and you can do a new window, low E, double pane vinyl window, same location, position. You can put and it's actually cool.
Hey, I got a question on something. So, like, there was a gentleman that had dark tile, and I said, "Why did you choose dark tile?" And he had it throughout the house, and I said, he goes, "Because it keeps the house cooler." he says that the air actually absorbs into the tile. And I actually went over there and I didn't know, and I felt it. It's the guy I was selling a house with, and it was cool. Now I don't know if it's because of the air conditioning, but does tile really hold?
You mean floor tile or
floor tile? Like if it's
That
darker,
sounds like some Houdini shit to me.
I don't know if it makes any difference or not what color the tile is in the house.
Really?
No.
It's inside the house, dude.
Yeah, but I mean, people's
you're-
misconception, I guess, is that if it's darker, usually it holds like the air,
Heat.
heat or non-heat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if it's cooler, it kind of absorbs things, I guess, a little bit different.
I don't know. I don't know that that actually holds true, because basically you've got the in the house, you've got the floor slab, you got everything is. It's not. There's no direct radiant heat that actually it would absorb and hold heat in. You know, the big thing is. The one thing is you don't, in the summertime, you don't want to shut vents off in a house.
Okay.
That house is designed for the number of vents that you have in the house.
Okay.
Perfect. I didn't know that.
Yes. And so then you leave the temperature, don't fluctuate the temperature more than, like, say 5 degrees. Don't ever shut one unit off thinking that you're saving energy, because basically what you're doing is when you turn that on to where you want to have that comfort level again.
The amount of energy it takes to turn it back on.
Yeah, the amount of energy it takes to turn it back on, but also your carpet, your walls, your shutters, whatever, they all got to cool down to the same heat too. Same temperature too.
Gotcha.
So
you just
yeah,
have to
so
do
just
that process again if you shut it off.
Yeah, you shut it off. You're starting from square one. You're starting right from zero and then going back. There's so many, like the house I went into yesterday. They had both air conditioning units shut off, and it was 104 degrees in the house. It's like, really,
dude, you should start a Bob Vila show. Wouldn't he have a good personality for that? Like, go over everything and then clean the ducts. I mean, dude, I think it was something.
Yeah.
Dude, he would I would follow him.
Dude,
around.
like that Sunday mornings. What's that old ass dude? I'll wake up like 5 a.m. on Sunday morning. Ron Hazelton or something.
He's got that voice too, that monotone voice. Like,
yeah,
you're
that's
watching
what I
it,
mean, dude.
I'll be on the couch watching him, and I'll fall asleep. I'll be like this.
Like, I want to hear that voice.
I'll be like, Doug.
5 a.m. Sunday morning doing woodworking.
You're like I'm like the guy, the golf guy, the golf announcer.
Honey, you're not into woodworking. I know, but for some reason, this guy makes me feel calm as shit.
It's that comfort feeling, man. It's like, Doug's in charge. We got this one.
Doug's in charge.
I'm gonna go on cruise control and fall asleep.
It's all good.
Let Doug
Dude,
take
I'm
over.
serious, man. You should, dude, with like little tips and things like that. I mean,
hey, call it the Doug or not.
Doug or not.
There you
Doug
go,
or not.
man.
There you go.
Yeah.
Doug or not, baby.
There you go.
The Doug or not of home inspection.
I know who your guest host can be.
Yeah, there you go. I got two.
It would be like Jackass the movie.
I don't say anything when I talk.
I can see Brett doing some things. And go, Jackass 2.
Dude, I'll do that. No way, dude. Those guys are nuts. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, right.
So anyways, anything else?
Yeah, that's
any stories of this last week?
Any stories this last week? Not this last week.
Any good inspections? Nothing surprising?
Nothing surprising. A couple manufactured homes, a couple stick builds.
Are you getting underneath those crawl spaces in this heat?
Yeah.
Oh my God, bro.
I know.
Some of you earn more than others, huh?
Shit. It's. And the nice thing is when you get under there, it's clean. I mean,
yeah.
But you got so many of them out there that are just.
Dude, I couldn't imagine.
The other one that I did, they had those big old Black Widow little pods.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they're all over the place in there.
No way, dude.
I took a stick and I'm
Black Widow. No way. Nope.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we got to end the show. I just want to say this.
Take a flamethrower.
If you guys are looking for a home inspector, check out Doug. Doug is a top-notch home inspector.
Get your SAR kit.
I highly recommend Doug going out, checking out your house. He'll give you a good insight. Doug, how can we'll have all your contact information, but I mean, you could throw out a website address. I mean,
yeah, I got www.lvhomeinspections.com. I had that. That's the original one. So I've got a few of them, but that's the one you can always get a hold of me on.
So we're at halftime. We're going to be back here in another 30 minutes, and we're going to go another 2 hours. I'm just playing. Brett's about to pass out over here. Yeah. Anyways, guys,
take a lunch break and come back.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you guys. Sorry for starting late. We had an issue with the internet. Also, we got it fixed. I'm really happy about that. If you guys are looking to buy a home, I want to throw this out really quick. Go to lvhomeprofessionals.com. You can check us out there. That's a great place to get started. Also, all these links inside this comments in the comment section, hit on all those links. It's going to give you guys a different direction of where to go. Thank you so much. Subscribe, like the channel. We'll see you guys on Tuesday. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Hope you guys be safe, and we'll see you then. Thank you for watching the French Workbench Podcast. You can find us here every Tuesday at 6 p.m. and Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. to find out all the information on real estate and financing here in Las Vegas. Also, check us out on our LV Home Professionals website. You can find your future home there. A lot of good information.